Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're putting on our architect hats. We're going to be drawing up the blueprint for lessons that don't just throw facts at people, but actually build real, lasting understanding. All right, let's get into it.
So, first things first, we have to define the problem. What is the actual goal of a great lesson? Is it just getting people to remember stuff for a test, or are we aiming for something bigger?
You've probably felt this shift yourself, right? In high school, a lot of the time, mastery just means you can spit back what you were told. But then everything changes. Real mastery, the kind that matters in college and in life, isn't about what you know. It's about what you can do with what you know, especially in new situations.
Okay, so if that's our goal, real application, how in the world do we design for it? Well, this is where we need to start thinking like an architect and drawing up a solid blueprint.
And our blueprint is a powerful idea called backward design. Now, I'll be honest, it feels a little, backward at first. Your gut instinct is to start at the beginning with a cool activity or chapter 1. This approach says, nope, flip that on its head. You start at the finish line. You ask, at the very end of all this, what do I want them to be able to do? You always begin with the end in mind.
This whole thing breaks down into 3 pretty clear stages. Think of it like planning a big trip. Stage 1, you pick your destination. What's the ultimate result you're after? Stage 2, you decide what counts as evidence that you got there. What pictures will you take? What will prove you made it? And only then, in stage 3, do you actually plan the route, the day-to-day lessons and activities that will get you there.
And at the core of all of this is that one absolutely crucial concept, transfer. That's the whole point of the journey. We aren't just teaching people facts about history or math for the sake of it. We're teaching them so they can use that knowledge in new, weird, unfamiliar situations later on. That is the real payoff.
So, we know where we're going, we've got our destination set, but now we need the right language, the specific architectural terms to describe what success actually looks like. We've got to get specific. And this is where a tool called Bloom's Taxonomy becomes absolutely essential. It's basically a ladder of thinking skills. It gives us the precise verbs we need to build learning objectives that are crystal clear and measurable. It's the official language of our blueprint. You see, it's a hierarchy, a ladder you have to climb. You start at the bottom with just remembering basic facts, and you move up to understanding them. You can't really apply a skill if you don't understand it first, right? And you definitely can't jump all the way to the top and create something new unless you can first analyze and evaluate all the pieces. Each level builds on the one before it. And this is where it gets super practical. Each of those levels comes with a set of specific observable action verbs. You can actually watch someone list facts or design an experiment. This is what takes learning from being this invisible, abstract thing inside someone's head and makes it visible and, crucially, something you can actually assess.
Choosing the right verb is everything. Goals like students will understand the topic are just impossible to measure. How do you see understanding? You can't. But a goal like students will compare these 2 different approaches, well, that's something you can actually see and grade. The words on the right are clear, active, and your best friends when designing a lesson.
Okay, quick recap. We have our destination from backward design. We have our specific language from Bloom's. Now we need a structure for the lesson itself. What's the step-by-step journey going to look like for the student?
For this, the 5E model is a fantastic framework. It was born out of science education, but its principles of discovery and inquiry are so powerful, they work for just about any subject. It creates a natural, logical flow for learning. Just look at this flow. It makes so much sense. You start with engage. You hook them, spark their curiosity. Then you let them explore, get their hands dirty, mess around with the ideas, and come up with their own questions. Then, and only then, do you step in and formally explain the concepts. After they have that foundation, they elaborate by applying their new knowledge. And finally, you evaluate to see what really stuck. It puts the student in the driver's seat of their own learning.
But of course, an architect knows you can't build the exact same house on a cliffside and on a sandy beach. Your design has to adapt to the terrain. And in the same way, no single lesson plan works for every single student. Our design has to be flexible.
And this is the art of differentiation. Now, this doesn't mean you have to create 30 completely separate lessons, because who has time for that? It's about being responsive, making thoughtful little tweaks to the main lesson to make sure it's accessible and challenging for every single person in the room.
And you've basically got 4 main levers you can pull.
You can change the content, the what they're learning. You can change the process, the how they're learning it. You can change the product, the way they show you what they've learned, or you can even tweak the learning environment itself. Just adjusting one of these can make a world of difference.
Here's a perfect, dead simple example of differentiating the content, just using plain language. Swapping out a complicated word like utilize for a simple one like use doesn't dumb down the idea. Not at all. It just makes it more accessible to more people. It's a tiny change with a huge impact.
So, let's just zoom out for a second and look at what we've built. This isn't just a random collection of teaching hacks. It's a powerful, interconnected system, a whole philosophy of design.
Each tool in our Architect's Toolkit has a specific job. Backward design is our master plan. Bloom's taxonomy provides the detailed engineering specs. The 5E model is our step-by-step construction schedule. And differentiation, that's how we customize the final building for the people who are actually going to live in it. When you use them together, you're not just teaching, you're truly architecting understanding.
Ultimately, this whole approach reframes what it means to be a teacher. You're not just a purveyor of content, someone who just delivers information. No, you're a coach of understanding. You're a designer of experiences. It's a much more creative and impactful role.
So, as you think about the next time you need to teach someone something, whether it's in a classroom, a boardroom, or just explaining an idea to a friend, here's my question for you. What's the one thing you can redesign? You don't have to overhaul everything at once. Just what's one small change you can make to your blueprint to build for a deeper, more lasting understanding?